Welcome to EPG Pathashala. I am A. Poshadri, Assistant Professor, College of Food Science and Technology, Professor Jaishankar, Telangana State Agricultural University. Today we are going to discuss on advances in food science and technology, module number 1, rapid methods for detection of food adulterants. So before going to rapid detection methods for food adulterants, so the objective of this lecture is students should know what are the methods, what are the adulterants, what are the historical prospects of these adulterants, and why people are practicing adulteration in the present situation. So how to cope up with the problems, and what are the controlling measures, and what government is taking different initiatives to stop adulteration in the society. So we are going to learn all these things, and these are very important in our day-to-day life as well as for a technological aspects. Students has to learn all these points. So what do you mean by food adulterant? So food adulterant is any chemical substance which is not actual chemical or actual ingredient, or actually it is not part of the food. So something is added intentionally to meet the consumer requirements. Sometimes when supply is less. When supply is less means then obviously there is a huge demand for that particular product. So in order to meet the demand, people are adulterating with some other inferior quality ingredients. That is the one issue. And other issue is we don't have a proper regulatory mechanism in the country or in the state. So, and not only regulatory mechanism, sometimes we don't have a strong existing mechanism how to check this adulteration, and we don't have even human resource power or a monitoring system to control these adulteration problems. So because of this, and day by day you will see different incidents in the newspapers or in the TV that in particular city or in a particular place the milk is adulterated with this, or something else is adulterated with this, some chili powder is adulterated with this. So all these problems you are encountering in your day-to-day life. So in order to stop this adulteration, or in order to identify the authenticity of that food ingredient is very important. So for this, and what do you mean by, again we will see one by one what exactly the legal, what you call the definition given by different authorities. When you look at an adulterant is a chemical substances which should not be contained in a food by intentionally or unintentionally. So which is actually not part of that particular food. So that is called adulterant. So after this adulterant, and what is, so when you look at historical prospect of this, and involved in different years in different countries, people have adulterated. So you will see, for example, a farmer is there. If he wants to sell his grain at higher price, then what he is doing, and he is adding intentionally some water to that. By that the water get absorbed into that product, and his product weight is increasing. So because of that, then he can sell his product at a higher price because he will get the quantity benefit in that, so volume benefit. So in order to get the volume benefit, farmer is adulterating, and some business or some industrialist is adulterating to mask the inferior quality of his ingredient. He is adding some flavor, some color to that particular food. So these are the things happening in the society, and how and what extent it has gone means, for example, because lack of this monitoring system, lack of this control measures, then nowadays in every food you will have a doubt on every food that food may be contaminated or adulterated with some other inferior quality or some other dangerous chemical. When you look at the cheese, is sometimes is adulterating with the lead components. So this is the dangerous with the adulteration systems. So this food adulteration, so the first investigated by a German chemist, his name is called Frederick Acum. In 1820, he investigated that some of the toxic components, some of the toxic metals he found in different foods and beverages. Okay, then after that Arthur Asel is a scientist who further extended the studies how to identify this and what are the legal measures we have to take for that particular food. All those things he has documented. Next, when you look at the incidents which have happened over the centuries, in 1987, people started selling a water by adding some artificial flavor in the name of apple. When you add apple flavor to a water, and it looks like an apple juice kind of thing. So that by that way, so people are cheated maybe we kind of a cheating. We are giving a false food to the people, that saying that this is apple juice. Actually it is not apple juice, it is a water where you have added a flavor to that. So in 1987 that was the first incident found, and next after 1997 and spraying of water, what we discussed now. So spraying of water on a different agricultural commodities. When you add a water to agricultural commodity, it absorbs, obviously its weight get increased. So when weight is increased, that quantity or a volume based thing, then that means the farmer, actual the weight of the product is 70 kgs for example. Then when you add a water of 10%, then its weight is increased into some other some 10% weight. So that means the farmer's actual weight is increasing, then he is getting more price for his extra 10% weight increase. So that because of that also people are doing the adulteration. And for example, some mixing of melamine in some fed foods. For example, melamine is a component when you add it to a food, then when feed with the fat animals, then that fat animals become flatten or they gains their weight early. So then that is another adulterant problem. And mixing of this melamine in milk infant formula, especially baby foods, infant formula. So these are baby foods or infant formula are very because we are dealing with the children's very kids, infants. So that means if something goes with that, then it affects all of his life. Any child or any kid, his life is going to be affected with that component. So melamine is a component, so where you are adding to that, then infant getting rapid growth. Okay, but actually that is not that is an adverse effect of that component. So when you add this melamine component in the infant formula, it has physiological effect, then baby is getting good growth and weight, but actually in long term it has a toxic effect on that particular baby. So this is another big problem. And in 2012, even in last year in India, in different parts of the country, you might have seen several adulteration cases. For example, in Hyderabad you found that these spices and chilies or others are adulterating with some toxic components, or some for example pepper is adulterated with some other component, papaya seeds, or milk is artificial milk, mimetic milk, what is called imitative milk, we can say. Imitative milk is preparing by adding urea, vanaspati and some other components. So it's how dangerous. If milk is prepared from urea, we are consuming. So that is the reason. So in order to avoid these things, and there should be a qualitative approach and a government legislative stringent actions and rapid methods also required to detect these adulteration systems. And for example, in some cases, for example, coffee beans, this coffee is as you see in India, in other parts of the world, coffee is prepared from coffee with some part of chicory. So here chicory is adulterated with some other ingredients like grounded peas, beans, wheat, and some, for example, kind of wines. A few wines are adulterated with diethylene glycol is another component, and some fats also. Nowadays you might have seen the fat is extracted from the dead bodies of carcass, dead bodies, or the offal material of a buffalo or a cow, or even from the feathers of the birds, poultry birds. So we are extracting, nowadays people are extracting oils or from that, and that is mixed with other edible vegetable oils. So people are selling in the form of oil, but actually that oil is full of saturated fatty acids and very toxic components and full of trans fatty acids. Then if people consume that, there is an issue definitely. So to monitor this, again we require a system where how to detect these rapid methods. And in some cases chili powder is also adulterated with in order to have a good color of chili powder. For example, chili powder in Kashmiri chili, you will have a bright red color. In some other chilies, they don't have that much of bright color. Then in order to get that Kashmiri chili powder, and people are mixing with the Sudan 1, 2, 3 components to the chili powder, and that normal white chili powder can be converted into a Kashmiri chili kind of color. So this is also a kind of adulteration on every food. You will see right from chilies to spices, milk, meat, fish. In every product you might have find different adulteration problems. Next, in some cases, for example, some cinnamon powder, some nuts, for example, cinnamon is having some peculiar cinnamaldehyde flavor. So to get that cinnamaldehyde flavor, and people are adding the cinnamaldehyde artificial flavor to the other barks of other trees. That is also kind of adulteration. And honey regularly you might have seen different ads in TV. Our honey is not adulterated with any other thing or something, or the particular company's honey is not pure. But actually honey, here you are adding liquid glucose or high fructose corn syrup to the here the adulteration is doing by in terms of complete replacement or partial replacement or masking of the things. And some rice noodles, for example, white rice noodles we required. Then in that case, for example, if your bubble gum or chewing gum is there, then when you are chewing that gum and after some time you will find that the gum looks like a white yellow color. It's because of titanium dioxide. So when you add a titanium related component in that rice flour, then you end up your processing, you will have a very white color noodles. So that means here titanium dioxide that is not allowed to add into the rice. Or sometimes if chewing gum there, it is permitted but not permitted in rice noodles. But people are misusing that food additives. Basically here the additives are misusing for increasing the color of other food items. So that is also an issue with the adulterants. For example, food additives nowadays, for example, last time you might have seen the issue of Maggi in the newspapers. In that what happened, that people found that more amount of lead in that Maggi food. Then government has banned that product. Maybe because the problem is more of monosodium glutamate. So monosodium glutamate is permitted, but it has some limitations. But what the production sites or the businessmen's what they are forgetting, that they are forgetting the limitation on that additives. So they are using excess additives. So excess additives leads to anything excess, again harmful to the consumers. So again that excess amount of monosodium glutamate in the food leads to a big problem in the society. And when that is a kind of exotoxin, that means a children or a fellow who consumes that excess amount of MHG, or then that means that fellow will suffer with the exotoxin, the neurotoxin problems. So in order to avoid this, then the food additives control system should be also placed in the society or in the legalized. So how much percentage, what are the limitations, everything need to be fixed and everything need to be monitored in proper way. And for example, even chicken, meat, fish kind of products where people are injecting the water into the mill in this carcass of poultry birds or the buffalo or the goat or sheep, people are injecting the water into that to maintain its freshness or to get the weight of that particular product. So these are the adulterated issues in the society. And here the categories of food adulteration, when you look at the categories of food adulteration, that means food adulteration is doing by replacing complete ingredients, or by partial replacement, or by adding some excess amount, or removal of vital ingredient. These three issues in the society. For example, a partial replacement, for example, artificial or what you call imitative milk is prepared. In that they use certain portion of milk, but the 20% or 30% portion of the milk and remaining 70 will be the adulterated ingredients. That is a partial replacement. And in case of removal, that milk is the price of the milk is depends on what is the fat content in it. So nowadays what happening in the cities or in the villages, farmers or some middlemen, they are removing the cream from the milk. That means they are removing the milk from the cream and they are selling as a milk to the people. Again, that means the vital ingredient of the milk is fat. So fat is not there, then what is the use of milk, consuming that milk? So that is the removal of milk. And in some cases, for example, pepper is there. Pepper is a authentic ingredient. And if pepper, the material which resembles a pepper is called papaya seeds. So here the papaya seeds are adding, for example, the 1 kg of pepper is costing around 450 rupees, for example. When you add some 20% of pepper is replaced with this papaya seed, that means its cost come down. Then the businessman or the trader who is practicing this, and he will get benefited. but the loser is the consumer who consumes that and is consuming that, and moreover some other toxic components or coal tar dyes are adding into the pepper, then that coal tar dyes are the toxic components. So people suffer with that. It's a carcinogenic issues again. Then there are different, for example, so far people have identified there is a database for this food ingredients and the adulteration. Some 1500 ingredients, food items are replacing different other ingredients, or some 90 examples are there where we are adding some extra, and in one example is there where we are removing the material from that. For example, the recorded materials like cereal grains, pulses, colors, dairy products, milk derivatives, fruit juices, functional food ingredients, gums, vinegar, oils, protein-based ingredients, seafood, spices, sweeteners, wines, meats, and natural flavoring complexes. And what are the reasons behind this adulteration? The reason is when supply is less, demand is more. And to meet the cost of production also. So companies are practicing this adulteration because to increase their profit or to decrease their cost of production. And for example, sometimes there is a shortage of authentic ingredient. For example, some herbs are there. For example, chives, oregano, parsley kind of herbs are there. So most of the herbs we are importing from other parts. So that means if we are not getting authentic herbs, then people are adulterating with the local herbs. So that is another issue. And moreover, there is no qualified personnel in this food adulteration system where they monitor this food adulteration problem. And next, inadequate knowledge on the consequences of this food adulteration. If you add any food adulterate into the food, what are the consequences? So people are less aware about the consequences of the food adulteration, their problem, their adverse effect, their effect on the health, their effect on the, for example, children's. Melamine is a component adding in infant formula. So that means the fellow who is adding that component into the infant formula is not aware that what are the adverse effect of it. So that means educating the people is also we are lacking. So in India we are lacking awareness in the society what are the adverse effect of this food adulteration. So this food adulteration is done to increase the value, to make more profit, or sometimes even we are adding sometimes very dangerous components to that. Sometimes for example, aflatoxin is there in chili. It may affect with some chilies with aflatoxin. And for example, when you add water to the chili, and because of moisture content, and chilies get absorbed, infested with the aflatoxin. The aflatoxin is a very toxic component. It is not permitted even PPB when you are exporting to other countries. So that means, when you add excess water to any grain, again there is a problem of microbiology. So here the microorganisms may start to develop, or toxins may develop, or toxins may produce in your food, or intoxication or exotoxication may happen. Then after consuming that particular food, then people will suffer with the different foodborne issues. And as I already said, so in India we have what we call the monitoring system is called Food Safety Standards Authority of India, FSSAI. FSSAI New Delhi monitor the food safety quality control systems in the country by regular monitoring industries, regular monitoring the hotels, and any system, any food producing system, any food business operation, FBO. Any food business operation is controlled by this FSSAI, and they issues the guidelines time to time. What are the adulterants, what are the detection methods, and how to control, how to check that, and any additives. Food additives is any chemical component which is added intentionally to the food, and with the permitted levels, under good manufacturing practices. So when you add something behind, for example, a RTS beverage is there you are only allowed to add 70 ppm of sulfur dioxide. So people, in order to increase its shelf life, or in order to get more enhanced shelf life in that product, people add some extra ppm. Instead of 70 they add 120. Then what happens if 70 ppm is at 70 ppm, sulfur dioxide doesn't create any adverse effect in the human body. When its content, when its ppm is increased from 70 to some x, then there is a problem. So that's why, so all adulterants or all the additives which we add to the food, it should be within the limits of FSSAI. So we should not cross that limits. And not only preservative, any antioxidants, emulsifiers, bulking agents, chelating agents, surface active agents, or coloring agents. In every additive, they have framed the certain laws and regulations and certain manufacturing practices, good manufacturing practices. By following that, we can avoid these adulteration issues. And these additives, for the food additives, only few are because these food additives in long run it will find the adverse effect in that particular person who suffers with that. Actually, in short term we don't see any problem, but in long term we will have a lot of adverse effect by excess adding of these food additives in the food. And this, what are the quality control approaches? So there should be an integrated approach of these legal bodies or statutory bodies, and with the industry people or food business operating systems and the research community and consumers. These are these four stakeholders should aware of food adulteration, adulteration issues, and how to curb these food adulteration problems. In statutory requirements, they made a framework that means all the additives, all the ingredients, all the food business practices, hazard control systems, and vulnerability of that particular hazard or risk of that particular chemical which is intentionally added to the food. So all the outbreaks are recorded, and all the risk with vulnerability, severity, by applying hazard analysis and critical control point ASAP. And in this adulteration systems, rapid method systems, you will have for example kit systems. For example, urea testing in a milk. So you will have some rapid kits. So just you add a drop of milk in any strip of paper, and you will find that whether a positive result or a negative result, a particular ingredient. That means biosensors, bioassays, ELISA microplate readers. These are the systems, and some chemical simple analytical test. For example, a simple method I will tell you. For example, in a honey, if when honey is adulterated with something, then you use a dry cotton plug, you just put it in a honey and you just burn that honey with a flame, and if you find a flame without any sound, that means that honey is pure. When some sound, a cracking sound comes, that means that honey is adulterated with water. Like that in chili powder and this turmeric powder, chromides and all. So just we add some H2SO4, HCl components, then in a quick minute you will find that a particular component is adulterated with that. Some starch iodine test is you can conduct, just add iodine to that particular milk or any butter or anything. If any butter or milk is adulterated with starch, then you just add some iodine and you will find a blue color. So these are the tests we will normally practice in our day-to-day life. And here industry is more responsibility because they are manufacturing different types of foods, and they should follow the food safety management systems, and all they should refer always Food Safety Standards Authority of India's regulation. What are the standards, what are the regulation, what are the common practices, what are the good manufacturing practices, what are the current good manufacturing practices. So all the food business operators, they should have a thorough idea on food business, food control systems, how to control right from production to till the consumer table. What are the practices they should follow? So they should be, they are circulating in their website, or they are sending letters to the organizations or the industries who are involving, and they are nowadays every operation, even where a function involves more than 1,000 people are attending, that they should get a certification from FSSAI. So that means, so to curb this adulteration, to curb this adulteration practices, then government has made some certain rules that wherever a mob is involved for lunch or a dinner, there should be a prior license for that particular function or particular event. And scientific community here, some scientific community is doing developing different rapid methods how to detect these adulterants in a food or a milk or in a beverage. A simple method, instead of, for example, a conventional method takes years, sometimes a month. sometimes to identify a particular outbreak. Then otherwise, then that takes so much, it consumes time and consumes labor, it consumes inputs. For example, if you have a kit, then you can easily identify it and you can just drop your sample in that kit and you will find that results, whether it's positive or a negative. That's all. A simple approaching methods are developing by community and scientific community. The scientific community should come up with some more positive methods which are very important to curb this food adulteration. Next, consumers and end users, they should aware about what are the ingredients are going into your food, when you purchase a food from the market, and you should see the label of that particular food, what are the ingredients they have added, and consumer awareness, labeling awareness, nutritional information, ingredients awareness, and authenticity of that, and all these things consumers should have an awareness on that, and consumers should be educated through print and electronic media that particular food, they should be demonstrated with what are the quick tests they can conduct at their home level to check this adulteration. And next, in these rapid methods, for example, if any meat is there, a meat is adulterated with that. By looking, so when water is there, people are injecting water into the meat. So when you crush the meat, and when you crush the minced meat, and you will find a lot of water in that. That means that fellow is added more water in that meat. Like similarly, if any turmeric powder or a chili powder or in anything, just you drop it in drop the shampoo in a water, and if we find any sediments or any settlement in the bottom of that particular tube or a beaker or anything, then that means that particular food is adulterated. So these are the tests we have to do, and these are the approaches we should follow, and authenticity of ingredients, labeling informations, and checking the adulteration, and it's everybody's responsibility, not only industry, not only scientific community, it's everybody, all the people, all the stakeholders. So the consumers especially, they should aware of all these adulteration systems, adulteration issues, health effects, and rapid methods at home level. Just a drop, if whether milk is removed, when fat is removed from a milk, when you drop a milk on a white paper, if when milk is adulterated with water, that milk flows and without leaving any fat kind of ring on that paper. When milk and pure milk is there, when you add a milk drop on the white paper, and it leaves a clear mark on that, that means that milk is fresh. Where the milk is adulterated with water and it flows directly without leaving any mark on that paper. So the simple test we can conduct at our home level. So by this we can check the adulteration in the country. To summarize this rapid methods for detection of food adulteration. So the first, what is food adulteration? Food adulteration is anything added intentionally to the food for replacing purpose, for mask the flavor, or to meet the demand and supply. So for that reason, people are adding adulterants to the food. So that addition of adulterant to the food is called adulteration. So this adulteration, the rapid methods, nowadays scientific community and the universities, research organizations and industries are developing quick methods for this. And again, the government should encourage the farmer who sell this pure product without any adulteration. There should be some encourage in terms of its price, fetching in terms of returns. So that means high value to that particular product where food is not adulterated. So that need to be there, and rapid methods needs to be developed more, and they need to be demonstrated to the people, they need to be demonstrated to the industry, and trained personnel, that human resource in this food science and technology also is another important. So training of human resource and developing human resource power in this area also another important, where we can check the this adulteration issues in the country. And further, if you want to have more knowledge on this food adulteration, you can refer our country's apex body of food safety and other food safety standards authority of India, FSSAI website, www.fssai.nis.in. You check that website and you will find all the adulteration food safety practices, and what are the safety limits for that particular food, and what are the identification methods for these adulterants. All those things you will find in the website, and those information Online is free of cost and everybody can access to that website. You can download that any material from that, and I request the students who are into this profession, food technology, and they should once in a week they should visit that website, and they should know what are the latest development, latest changes in the rules and regulations in food production practices, and by that way you can check or you can curb this food alteration in the country. Thank you.